episode. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and we have left our Pisang and we are now in the channel, the main shipping channel in the Malacca Strait, and heading north towards Pulau Besar, which is our next anchorage. That's a distance of about 70 odd miles, and I do expect to have the tide and current against us at some point, probably after about 9 o'clock this morning. At the moment we've got it with us, which is a big help. Then it's going to turn against us at the same that's helping us now. So 70 miles, a long haul. We need to get in there before dark because of all the fishing nets, and we were proved correct with that last night at Pulau Pisang. We had guys setting surface drift nets, big long bastards, probably well over a mile long, with no lights all around our boat. Just, yeah, got to make a skipper nervous, that's how you do it. Anyway, so those drift nets, and they're on the surface, not well marked. Some are lit, some are not, and they're left unattended. Generally running against the, across the current, so usually at about 90 degrees to the channel. So if you're travelling at 90 degrees to and from the channel, you might be able to avoid them. If you're travelling along with the same direction as the channel, outside the channel, you're going to pick one up sooner or later. Dawn has sprung and Tan is awake. Hello, morning. So we're still in the channel. There we got sunrise about to happen. We're getting the wind at about 20 degrees off our starboard side, which is allowing me to keep the mainsail set and giving us a tiny bit of drive over and above our engine, but ultimately mostly engine. In about 45-50 minutes I'll be able to turn to port and open that angle up, and I'm hoping I can get the headsail out. Even though the wind is only about 8 to 10 knots, we'll still have to motor sail, but if I can get that headsail out, I can crack on at least probably another half a knot, maybe even a knot, and that'll help us overcome the tide, which is going to turn against us probably in the next hour and a half, something like that. So you can see all the traffic. There's a fair bit going on, but really it's fairly widely spaced, so it's not really an issue. And probably in about 40-50 minutes we'll make that waypoint there, and once we make that I can turn to port and open that angle up a little bit more. So you can see how busy it can get. Narrow part of the channel here, and we got one ship overtaking another ship with two stacked up behind it, a couple on the other side of the channel where the sandbank is, and little old us on the outside. Now we're right on the edge of the channel here, so you know, we're pretty clear, and we're actually getting a little bit of a wind angle now, where I'm able to set the headsail and it's just drawing, so that's adding about another half a knot, helping us to overcome this tide, which is going to start working against us pretty soon. We're getting a little bit of a motor sail now, but I just looked off to the port side where there's been a bit of a rain band giving us a bit of a breeze. Check out that cloud. Pretty sure I've seen that before, where it drops down and becomes a water spout. Don't know if this one will, but that's a pretty significant bump coming down off the bottom of that cloud. Anyway, it shouldn't be a threat to us. Should be good. Anyway, I'm just about to go through some more fisherman nets. I've got 18 miles to go to the anchorage. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a long day since 5 o'clock this morning, but at least we're making a bit of ground now. We're still fighting the tide, but this wind is helping. We're making 6.5 knots over the ground at the moment. You can see we're outside the channels now. We're moving through this area here, and the anchorage up there, Pulau Besar, and all this net activity is happening in here. So that little rain band is keeping its distance so far. I think it's headed this way. Certainly increased the wind. We're up around 17, 18 knots now, but Starlight loves that. I'm just at the point where I might reef the main. We'll see how we go. But that water spout did not come down and touch, although it's just an unusual looking cloud, I guess. But it's given us a fantastic sail, and maybe it'll hold for a couple of hours. Yeah, probably not. Maybe half an hour or something would be good. But it's zipping us along at about 8 knots at the moment, and I know we're not getting current with us, so Starlight's doing all of that. What a beautiful sailboat she is. Beautiful boat. Once she gets going, she's cracking along. There's buddy boat Astrid behind us with Bruce on board. He's doing his thing as well. He'll be cracking along. I think we're outpacing him a little bit, just we're a little bit bigger and we've got a bigger head sail. It just shows we're doing 7.8 over the ground, and I know we don't have the tide with us for another 2 hours, so we're actually fighting a little bit of tide there. So that's nice, making really good ground, really good. Oh, Tarn's up to something. Oh, Tarn's got food ready for me. Good timing, thank you my darling. Wow, check this out. So while I'm talking to you about all that, leaning at 30 degrees, Tarn's been downstairs cooking up a storm. She's awesome. For those of you who don't know, I really love my wife, really a lot. She's perfect, perfect boat partner, perfect life partner. Well, the last 2.5 hours has probably been one of the best sails we've had since we've been in Asia. It was right on, you know, right on a beat, so we're sitting around about that 45 to 50 degree mark, getting up to 30. No, probably sitting at around 40 to 45 degrees most of the trip. But we were cracking along with the tide behind us, admittedly, you know, making 7, 8, 9 knots for the last 2.5 hours. So that's got us to our destination here at Palau Besar a little bit earlier in the day, which is nice. So very shortly we're going to furl up the headsail, pitch the mainsail and motor into our anchorage, and we're going to use the Navionics recommended anchorage points from people who've been here before us. So we just dropped the pick here in Palau Besar. Looks pretty. We've got the boat sitting to the current rather than the wind, so she took a little while to settle down. I don't even think she's settled properly on her anchor yet. Here we are at Palau Besar, and we have a thunderstorm bearing down on us. We're not in a bad spot here. So we've got 50 metres of chain out in 5 metres of water, and I can lay another 15 there, get to 65 without any big deal. But it looks like we're going to get a direct hit from this guy. But Palau Besar allows us another anchorage. We can zip around the corner here and get into calm water if this really kicks in. I suspect it's not going to be too bad. We might get 30s out of it, maybe 35. I don't expect anything worse, and we're not on a lee shore, so we should be all right here. Next couple of hours is going to be interesting. You can see there, thunderstorm coming down off the land there and heading towards us. So you can see here the thunderstorm came right over the top of us, and it has since broken up and left us with just a tiny little bit of spitting rain now. The radar here is actually about 10 minutes old, so it's actually passed by us here now. It's calm outside, and we're just waiting for, you know, the little chop to disappear, and we should have a good night's sleep. Hopefully we won't get any more. It's always difficult to sleep on these, you know, anchorages that are a little bit open, especially in the Malacca Straits where thunderstorms can come out of nowhere.